Hi everyone, out there in computer land. We're going to give you another lesson today, and this is going to be on two well-known prepositions. Well, they're not well-known, but they're definitely popular prepositions. But there are a lot of mistakes made by foreigners with regard to speaking and using these two. They're not hard as far as pronunciation, min and an. But there's a lot of times when students, language learners, mix up between or confuse these two prepositions because they are similar. They both give one of the meanings they can give out as far as what we'd say in English would be from. Okay, from. For example, I differ from him. You know, like if it was an opinion or something. We would, in Arabic, or in English, we would say men because people associate men with from. And people associate an because we use, for example, haka an, which means, or al an, which means he's talked about. So people would associate an with about and men with from. However, there's another side to an that we need to know, that it's actually min and an share the idea of from. How so? Well, min, for example, I could say, أنا بختلف, I differ, عنه, I differ from him. Or هل إشي, or هالسيارة تختلف عن السيارة الثانية or تانية. So, عن. But now in English, how do we would say that? We would translate it to be, for example, I differ from him. Okay, I differ from him. A lot of people would then use men, but that is incorrect. So men is not used in that sense of an is. Now you might ask, well, why? What's the difference between an and men? And hence this is the lesson. All right. So men, if we look at men is associated with verbs or with ideas that express feelings, okay? Feelings. Or resulting from someone's actions. Whereas an is more of here space, information, or association. For example, if we talk about men, we could say أنا زعلان منه. I am upset with him. All right. Literally, أنا زعلان منه. People would say, "Oh, I am upset from him." All right. But it actually means I am upset with him. But really, what's the idea here is that his actions, as a result of his action, okay, result of someone's actions, means I'm upset with him. So that's where the idea comes from. When the Arab uses it, they're thinking about what he did or what he said made me upset. So أنا زعلان منه because of this idea here. All right? And also you have the idea of feelings, as well. But so min is used in this instance. With an, for example, also an right here. If we say, for example, هو بعيد عني, بعيد عني means he is far from me, عني. Not from with men, but from using an. بعيد عني means, for example, the idea of space. Okay, so he's far from me space-wise. Now, some of you who know Arabic, all right, know a good bit of Arabic, might say, well, wait a minute, Farid. Here's the problem. There is a word here. We could say, well, what about qarib or arib? All right, arib means close to, and we don't say, Arabs don't say arib an. They say arib min. Yes, that is true. But even here, we're talking about feelings because arib has three different meanings. One is arib min, someone, you could say, means that we are close in relationship. Okay? So that's one. Also, قريب هو قريب لإلي means he is my relative. Okay? قريب لإلي, my relative. That is also having to do with feelings or, let's say, a relationship or whatever. So feelings here. Okay? So then you have those two. And then you have the spatial element that's right here. But the spatial element doesn't win out in this situation because there's two others that they're focusing on. Now, so then that's why Arib Min is there, okay? And that's why they say Arib Min. All right, so that, we go to association, for example, someone might say, well, حكى عن, هو حكى عني. حكى عني, he said about me, with regards to me, okay? Or, what is another one we'd say? Oh yes, خبى عن, all right? Or خبى عن. So the verb here, خبى, which is more used. There's also one, خبى, okay? Or أخفى. أخفى, by the way, is فصحى. This is فصحى, it's used in written, and this is only used in spoken. But this is written and spoken, used both. But خبى is used more all around. They both mean the same thing, and they both take an. Okay, only an means he hid something from me, either a secret or something physical, some object. So خبى عن, هو خبى عني means he hid from me. Let's say الكتاب. Okay, خبى عني الكتاب, the book. He hid from me the book. Well, why is it an? Because we would say he hid from me this side here. It could be information or association. Okay? All right? So, information-wise, for example, the secret, خبى عني أو أخفى عني السر. So the secret, he hid from me the secret, which means information. So it has to do with information. So that's why it says an in this one. All right? So, now, these are just general things here that I know in the beginning it's hard to get your grasp on. But as you go through Arabic, I think the focus here is how can we think about these when we're going through verbs or when we're seeing even adjectives, because the adjectives will take the same prepositions, okay, just like the verbs will. So the prepositions, we need to be clear on how they work and get some kind of system. All right, so that's that. Now let's go and look at another element of min and an. All right, so here, min and an, they also differ from the idea of, in another way, of one meaning min is kind of like the idea of naqd. All right, naqd, which is like moving something, moving things. All right, and this one, hamid, is carrying. So, if I say, for example, khud, all right, khud, which means take, all right, khud, this is the ammiya now, okay, not khud, but khud, in ammiya, khud, الورقة, مثلا الورقة, oh, sorry about that. Let's go back. I'm thinking about another word already. Okay. خد الورقة. خد الورقة من let's say الخزانة. Okay. من الخزانة. Now, خزانة خزانة means like what is it? Like an basically a cabinet, okay? Take it from the cabinet, all right? Or let's say where you keep books, bookshelf that's usually closed, okay? Because if it's not closed, they say rufuf. But here in this instance, khazani means it's closed. You have to open it to get them. So, khud al-waraga min al-khazani. Now, this, what does it mean? Khud al-waraga min al-khazani. In the English, it's very simple. Take it, or take the paper, piece of paper, from the khazani. Meaning, open up, take it out of the khazani. So this is, the idea is nugget. You're taking it for what purpose? To take it somewhere else, okay? Now, an, if I said khud an, all right, all this is the same. Let's just go here, like that, and then I put an instead, all right? Khud al-waraqa, or wara'a, an al-khazanah. That means take it from the top of the khazanah. All right, so it's actually on the khazanah, and you're taking it to get it out of the way, basically to hold it. All right, so you're not, the purpose isn't nakil, but to take it. Another verb will be used, would be this one, lem. All right, lem means, yani lim means pick up. Now, so what would you use here? You would say lem, pick up something, you might have guessed it, lem an. Lem an. Yani would say lem is the command. All right, lem al-wara'a an al-ard, from the ground. Pick it up from the ground. All right, off of the ground. So the idea here, an, all right, an is used with this. Why? Because you're getting something off of something else, from the top of something. So if I say, I need to use this table, could you take your papers? I would say, khud al-waraq an al-tawla, an. But if it's a table and there's a drawer and you're getting it from inside, okay, or you're going to give me the papers, I would say khud al-waraq min al-tawla. Okay, so the idea here is, this is, right here, is moving something, okay, and this one, hamad, is more of carrying it with you. That's the idea. You're carrying it, you're holding it. There's no objective, it's just getting out of the way, kind of like that. Another one would be shall. All right, now shall is used a lot too. Excuse me. Shall. All right, and this one is going to be usually used shall an, or shall, also you could say min. But what circumstance would you say shall an? Shall means he removed it. Like if there's something like, let's say, a chair in the middle of the hall, you'll say shil it. You know, shil al-kursi, shil al-kursi. So here, shil an, all right, shil an is going to be used for taking something from the top of something else, you know, that's in the way. Kind of like lem. But shil is used actually even more. And then if you say min, you're talking about, and min is used more, shilo, min, means you're going to move it from one place to another. All right? So, little idiosyncrasies with min and an, but I hope that this was helpful, at least moving in the right direction. There are some lessons that you're going to have in Arabic that really are just lessons to point you in the right direction. They're not going to give you all the answers, but as you experience the language, you'll find out these for yourself. But these just help you start looking for them. So, I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll see you next time.